Episode 90, week 90, 90 straight weeks of writing 2 brand new songs and learning a new cover. This is Quest for 1,000 Songs, direct from the Rob Lincoln Unpresidential Library, and lots of ideas from different listeners in this episode, as well as a cover that I'll be doing with my longtime musical partner, Steve Lessick. But let's get started with the originals. And to start off, we have a song that takes suggestions of 2 words, magical and hysterical, that were suggested by singer-songwriter Dolores Magro. And also, the music was written after listening to Cherish. The song doesn't sound much like Cherish, but there's 1 or 2 chords that had similarities. And that was a suggestion by Terry Camilleri. So thank you, and we'll get started now. The subject matter is a true story about my very first exposure to music, which is through a phonograph. It's called My First Phonograph. My first phonograph. In my little room, when I first heard the tune, the magical sound of music filled the air. I held a 78, and it felt so great, putting needle to the groove without a care. My first phonograph, the needle was so long. My first phonograph could play my favorite song. My first phonograph gave way to another. My first phonograph is now so long, long gone. I looked around the room, saw records on the floor, found funny ones that made me roar. Hysterical laughter filled the room, I wanted more. I asked to go to Jerry's record store. My first phonograph, the needle was so long. My first phonograph would play my favorite song. My first phonograph gave way to another. My first phonograph is now so long, long gone. I grew up a bit and then the needle was shrunk and became flattened. 33 and 1/3 RPM. The LP became my friend. In a little room, never knew what it would become. Reel-to-reel 8 tracks, cassettes, CDs, and now none. I bought my 45s, listened to every last flip side. Nothing left to hold on to in my little room. Nothing left to feel in my little room. My first phonograph, the needle was so long. My first phonograph would play my favorite song. My first phonograph gave way to another. My first phonograph is now so long, long gone. My first phonograph. I wonder if any of you out there had a phonograph as opposed to a turntable record player, a portable phonograph. Anyhow, Hope that brought back memories for anyone out there besides me. That'd be nice. So this next song's very different, quite different. It was based on some suggestions from some listeners, different suggestions. Singer-songwriter Ann Ramsey out of Delaware, great singer-songwriter. She suggested I get inspired by Sweet Home Chicago. And the very interesting Richard Hunt, songwriter, excellent songs he has out there in the Philadelphia area. He suggested I use the words Hornswaggled and Boulder Dash in a song, so couldn't resist that. This song is called Hornswaggled by Your Boulder Dash. It's a blues inspired by Sweet Home Chicago. I shouldn't have trusted you. I should have known well, now I know. I shouldn't have trusted you. Should have known now, well I know. You've been fibbing and bloviating, it's all a goddamn show. I always believed you, don't know why, so do not ask. I always believed you, don't know why, so don't you ask. You lie with so much conviction, I hope you get convicted, you don't ask. You got a knack for lying, I must admit, and a way to make it raking all the cash. But I now know you're full of it, won't be hornswoggled by your boulder dash. Thought you were amusing, thought it was fun to put them down. You thought you were amusing, thought it was fun to put them down. But when you meet your maker, you'll be wearing that big old frown. You got a knack for lying, I must admit, and a way to raking all that cash. But now I know you're full of it. Won't be hornswoggled by a boulder dash. Now I won't be hornswoggled by a boulder dash. No, no, no. No, no, no. No more hornswoggling. No more boulder dash. No more hornswoggling. No more boulder dash. Won't be hornswoggled by a boulder dash. Never get hornswoggled by anyone's boulder dash. It's just not a good thing. Thank you, Richard Hunt, for those 2 words. Thank you, Ann Ramsey, for having me listen to Sweet Home Chicago. And now for something completely different. A song from the medieval times, basically, or maybe the Renaissance. It's a little bit of an oldie. And it's done with Steve Lessick. But I think you'll know this song. Coming up right now, cover. You just learned. So here I am with Steve Lessick, and we're doing a cover together. Steve and I have been playing for well over 40 years. We were in a band in 1978 called Schmooze We Ain't. I was playing violin. Steve was playing drums, and they did this song, but I never learned the song until today. I had to kind of figure out the chords and make up my own chords. So it is a new cover, Learned, Just Learned. It was written a while ago in 1500s, that's a long while ago, and Robbie Burns had something to do with it. It was more famously played lately by Traffic, John Barleycorn.
There were 3 men came out of the west. Their loud they sung, they've heard only men put clouds upon his head. And these three men made a solemn vow. John Barleycorn was dead. They let him lie for a very long time, until the rains from heaven did fall, and little Sir John shrunk up his head, and so amazed them all. They let him stand till Midsummer's Day, until he looked both pale and wan. And little Sir John's grown a long, long beard, and so become a man. They've hired men with the eyes so sharp to cut him off at the knee. They rolled him and tied him by the waist, serving him most barbarously. They've hired men with sharp pitchforks to pick him to the heart. And the Lord served him worse than that, for he's bound him to the car. They wheeled him around and around the field, till they came unto the barn. And there they made a solemn vow on poor John Barleycorn. They fired men with the crotchety stakes to cut him the skin from bone. And the miller has searching worse than that, for he's ground him between two stones. Sir John and the nut brown bowl, and his brandy in the glass. And little Sir John and the nut brown bowl proved the strongest man at last. For the huntsman go so loudly to blow his horn. And the chicken he can make kettle without a little barley.
Well, thank you, Steve, for stopping by. Actually, I stopped by his place. I'm back at the Rob Lincoln on Presidential Library to say goodnight to everybody. Thank you for listening. Please like if you liked anything, and please subscribe if you haven't yet. And hopefully we'll be back next week with week number 91. Take care.